Great. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm Hillary Ross, Zoom Security Product Marketing Manager, and I will be moderating today's event. A few quick housekeeping items. Please go ahead and add all your security and privacy questions to the Q&A panel, and we'll try to get to as many as possible. For questions on how to use certain features, we highly recommend you visit our knowledge base at support.zoom.us, watch our how-to videos on YouTube, read our blog posts, or attend a daily training. We'll add the links to these resources in the webinar chat. We are recording today's webinar and we'll send the link to everyone who registered. We're once again excited to provide you an update on the progress we continue to make with respect to security and privacy, as well as the opportunity to ask Eric and a few of our top team members questions. Today, we have a really exciting and full agenda. Eric, our founder and CEO, will kick off our webinar with some updates on new product launches. We will then have Robert Muse, a senior product manager at Zoom, talk about our new Active Apps Notifier feature. Robert will be followed by Wei Li, our head of Zoom events, who will share more about the security of Zoom events. Then lead product manager Cynthia Lee will discuss our Zoom Room solution and security tips. And lastly, we'll open it up for Q&A, and our Chief Technology Officer, Brendan Idelson, will join us for that. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Eric.
Thank you, Hillary. And thank you all for joining me today. We're very excited to welcome you to our webinar. Over the last 15 months, we have held 25 of these webinars as part of our ongoing commitment to being transparent with our users about our privacy and security efforts. And going forward, we will transition this webinar from monthly to a quarterly cadence, with the next one to take place in October. I'm incredibly proud of the progress we have made with respect to our privacy and security, and we remain committed to sharing details through our blog posts, support pages, Trust Center, and these webinars and more. With that, let me dive in. I'm excited to share that earlier today, we launched Zoom apps and Zoom events. We provide links to the related press release and blog posts in the chat. So what are Zoom apps and Zoom events? Zoom apps is a new type of in-product integration that lets you bring in your favorite apps right into your Zoom meetings. And Zoom Events is our all-in-one platform with the power to create a virtual experience that attendees will love. I will provide a little bit more color on Zoom apps, and we will discuss Zoom Events in detail. So for background, Zoom apps is a new type of app that we have added to the Zoom app marketplace, which already hosts more than 1,500 third-party integrations. Notably, these new apps are in-product apps that are seamlessly integrated into the Zoom experience to make it even more productive and efficient. I wanted to share a fun, quick video we put together on Zoom apps to give you some examples. So, as you can see from the video, the launch of Zoom apps is going to take the Zoom experience to the next level. But I also think it's very important to reiterate that as with everything we do at Zoom, privacy and security were top of mind and helped guide our thinking on the rollout for Zoom apps and Zoom events. Both are very exciting launches for us, but rest assured they have been thoughtfully designed. I'll now walk you through the key security and privacy considerations and features for Zoom apps. First, Zoom apps has a security review process. Applications that we plan to integrate with the Zoom platform must undergo a review process intended to help maintain customer security and resilience of the ecosystem. Second, Zoom apps has administrator controls. Specifically, Zoom provides account owners and admins with privacy and security tools and support throughout the Zoom app's experience. And finally, in terms of data management, the listing page for each Zoom app identifies the types of data and information a particular app can access when an account owner or user installs the app. With that, I will now hand it over to Robert, who will share more about Active Apps Notifier. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. I'm delighted here today to share more about our new feature, the Active Apps Notifier. As Eric mentioned earlier, Zoom has put privacy, security, and transparency at the forefront of everything we do. We're excited about Zoom's app ecosystem that will provide many new experiences for our users and help enable the next generation of collaboration. That said, many apps require some meeting information to be shared in order to function properly. In light of that, we want to make sure our users are empowered to make informed decisions in context about if and how they participate in those collaborations. Our new Active Apps Notifier feature is an in-meeting notification that lets participants know when third-party apps used by other participants in a meeting are accessing audio, video, or chat content during a meeting. For example, a user may be using a transcription app that obtains real-time audio feed to transcribe the meeting contents. When an app has accessed meeting content, the Active Apps Notifier icon appears in the meeting window along with a tooltip. The screenshot on the right of the slide shows what the Active Apps Notifier looks like in action. Users can hover over the icon to show a list of apps that have accessed that meeting's content, along with which users approved each app. Users can also click on the app names in the list to learn more information about the app and its developer. Next slide. Outside of meetings, account owners and admins can also see and manage the apps that have access account users' meeting content during a meeting hosted by the account in the past 30 days. The image on the right will give you a sense of what the report looks like. This report will help IT personnel to make informed decisions about whether they want to continue to approve the use of these apps in their meetings and webinars. For more information on the Active Apps Notifier feature, please refer to our support article. With that, I will hand it over to Wei Li.
Thank you, Robert. I'm very happy to be here today to talk about Zoom events, key security features. As Eric mentioned earlier, it was just launched for general availability earlier today. So first of all, let me give you a quick overview about Zoom events and its current capabilities. Zoom events is an all-in-one platform with the power to create virtual experiences. It adds to our existing video webinars and the on-Zoom product offerings to give event hosts more options to build and host the perfect event using our reliable video and chat technology. Now, from enterprise users, small and medium-sized businesses, to schools and other organizations, Zoom Events is designed for anyone who wants to host a virtual or hybrid event. Now, customers can leverage this offering to set up a multi-session event agenda and a customized registration for free or paid events. Attendees can engage and interact with the event hosts and other attendees in event lobby via chat and networking before, during, and after the event. Next up, please. Now, for greater clarity, I know most of you probably are very familiar with our webinar. So we've put together this table that provides a side-by-side comparison of our Zoom video webinars product versus Zoom events. Now, looking at the left column, for Zoom video webinars, attendees can register a webinar through a webinar link for a single session. Now, if there are multiple sessions, then each session would need a different link. Users or organizers would have to track them all for every single link. Now, users today can set up webinars on our web portal. So taking all this together, webinars are best used for presentation sessions, such as trainings, even like this, and also demonstrations. Now for Zoom events, let's look at the right-hand side of the column. An event attendee or a registrant will receive a ticket, a single ticket that is uniquely generated for every registrant. A single ticket link may consist of multiple meetings and webinar sessions. Event organizers can also set up a single, recurring, or multiple sessions consisting of meetings and or webinars. They can also set up an event hub that serves as an event profile, a dedicated landing page, and publish events under a hub. Each event can have event lobbies for attendees to interact and network beyond the real-time sessions. Now, taking all this together, Zoom events are suited for experiences like summits, trade shows with multiple sessions, and where attendees can network and engage beyond sessions. And recording for the multi-sessions can be also accessed after the event in a single place. Now, to further demonstrate the value that Zoom events bring, here's a video how attendees would register for a multi-session event. And with a single click, how attendee would join event lobby and engage with other attendees and attend sessions. Let's play the demo. So this is the event landing page. And as you can see, there are multi-sessions here, and the speakers information is also presented here. Now the registrant can click register and then register for the event. Now the attendee receives the ticket and then join the lobby. Now the native Zoom client will be launched. As you see that this is the event lobby, we have enabled the chat for attendees to engage, to interact. And all the things you love about chat can be done here. Now you can also click another attendee to request a contact with him. Now, as you go scroll down, when the time has arrived for a given session, you will see the blue familiar button, join session, present. Now you can click that join. And once you're done with one session, you can get out from the session, and next session is immediately present with a blue join button that you can attend. So basically you can attend multiple sessions from a single place from lobby. Now, finally, as part of my presentation, I also want to highlight the security of Zoom events. We have implemented a number of features to ensure safe and secure events. To help maintain and ensure the accurate attendance and enhance the security, each attendee, like I mentioned earlier, they will register for event and they will receive a unique ticket that is generated for every single attendee. Now, attendees do not need to have a paid Zoom account, but they will need to sign up on Zoom to join the events. Now, in order to join an event, attendees will need to log in to Zoom with the same account they used to register for that event. Attendees must also be on the latest Zoom client in order to use Zoom events to leverage all the best and latest changes on Zoom client. For the latest version of Zoom on the mobile, you can access App Store to download. And if you are on the laptop or desktop, you can always click the drop-down menu and then check for updates on the setting button. And also in all the tickets you may have received from Zoom events, there will be also a reminder and a link to tell you where to download the latest clients. Now, of course, Zoom events, it works just in the very same the encryption framework that has underpinned all other Zoom offering. And the HTTPS is pretty much required for all the Zoom events, any link or any access. Now, let me hand this over to Cynthia to talk about another one of our very unique offerings, Zoom Rooms.
Thank you, Wei. I'm excited to talk about Zoom rooms and tips on how to keep your conference rooms secure. Next slide. As employees return to the office, organizations need to ensure their workspaces help them feel connected with their remote counterparts, while also ensuring all employees enjoy an equitable collaboration experience, regardless of where they are. Our answer to this is Zoom rooms. Many organizations will likely take a gradual, phased approach to bring employees back into the office. And with the hybrid workforce, companies face the challenge of supporting in-office and remote workers simultaneously and securely. For IT teams, Zoom Rooms is part of a single collaboration stack that's simple to purchase, deploy, and manage while ensuring user adoption and IT success. For end users, Zoom Rooms makes it simple to book rooms, start meetings, and share content. Organizations can use Zoom Rooms to empower workers wherever they are, streamline collaboration between in-office and remote workers, and make the transition back in the office as seamless as possible. Our Zoom Rooms are jam-packed with features designed to support hybrid workforces and help businesses re-enter the office safely. Just some of the fantastic features we support include high-quality video and audio in any size room. Users can present content wirelessly from their laptop or mobile device with a simple click of a button. It's easy to start scheduled or instant meetings, and you can even use your personal mobile device or voice commands for a touchless experience. For administrators, Zoom Rooms is easy to manage at scale with our enterprise remote management portal and functionalities. Next slide. Security underpins all of our innovations here at Zoom, and Zoom Rooms is no exception. When joining a meeting from a Zoom room, you have the same type of Zoom meeting security features at your fingertips. Zoom Room security features are designed to protect user and meeting privacy, as well as promote the seamless Zoom experience that you can rely on from us. Zoom Room's appliances are reinforced through a hardware partner security evaluation process. Next slide. To tailor Zoom Room security features to your needs and protect your conference room meetings, here are a few do's that we encourage you to consider. Leverage the security menu on Zoom Rooms to take a number of safety measures, such as lock meeting, enable the waiting room, and more. If you schedule a private meeting, the meeting topic is always hidden from the Zoom Rooms display. For further privacy, admins can enable the setting to hide host and meeting ID from private meetings to also keep the meeting host and meeting ID hidden. Consider limiting whiteboard sharing to internal contacts only to prevent content from being shared with external parties. By enabling the required encryption for third-party endpoint settings, those dialing in via SIP or H.323 endpoints will be required to use encryption when dialing into Zoom meetings as well. Admins can configure a room passcode for Zoom Rooms, which prevents users from exiting the Zoom Rooms application and making setting changes. Be sure to utilize the room passcode and change the passcode from the default one. Next slide. Also, keep in mind the following don'ts when deploying your Zoom Rooms. A sharing key is just one of the ways participants can connect to a Zoom Rooms to share content. If your Zoom room is in a public space where the display is visible to outsiders, remain vigilant about showing the sharing key on screen. If an outsider gets hold of the sharing key, they could potentially share unwanted content into the meeting. Be careful about automatically accepting incoming call and camera control or automatically starting scheduled meetings. There are some specific cases where those features are used in a controlled environment, but for most deployments, it's best to keep them disabled. Zoom Rooms are automatically assigned a room meeting ID. It's best to avoid sharing the room meeting ID, as anyone with that information could potentially join a meeting that's using that meeting ID in the future. With these tips, Zoom Rooms users can enjoy seamless and secure collaboration while avoiding potential disruptions. And back to you, Hillary.
Great, thanks a lot, Cynthia. And I'll let you know that we're working on a blog article actually on this topic on securing Zoom Rooms. So we'll soon have a tangible guide you can look at if you're looking for Zoom Room security tips. And with that, I'll open it up to the Q&A. Robert, we have several questions on the Active Apps Notifier feature that you presented on. The first question is, what does it mean for account owners and users to share data with apps?
Sure, yeah. So, many apps require access to meeting content to function properly. So for example, a meeting host may want to use a transcription app to create records of meetings for colleagues unable to attend the meeting. So in these cases and others, apps are provided with information that they need to function.
Perfect. And a follow-up question, what will the apps in Active Apps Notifier do with the information they collect?
Sure. Yeah, so each host and third-party app is governed by its own terms of service, privacy policy, and support information. So Zoom does not determine how hosts or apps may choose to share content. So we encourage our users to review that information carefully on each app's marketplace page in the privacy policy and terms of use sections.
Great, thanks, Robert. And a quick question on Zoom Rooms for you, Cynthia. Does end-to-end encryption work in Zoom Rooms?
Yes, absolutely. As I mentioned, security underpins all of our innovations here at Zoom. Similar to the Zoom Meetings client, end-to-end encryption is supported on Zoom Rooms.
Perfect. And we have one more encryption question. Are Zoom apps encrypted?
I'd be happy to take that one, Hillary. So Zoom apps, our client leverages TLS 1.2 over an HTTPS session for helping protect that connection between the Zoom client and the Zoom app developer. So yes, they are leveraging encryption for those communications.
Great, thanks. And wait, we have one privacy question on Zoom events. Do Zoom events allow event hosts and organizers to collect attendee information with consent and permission?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yes, with a very clear privacy policy that will be specified by event host or organizer. So we do support a customized registration. This is where the event host will be asked to provide a privacy policy link. So we have some messages like your organization's privacy policy will be displayed when user register for the event. So the policy link, privacy policy link will be seen by the user registrant. And this step will be a mandatory step before the event organizer can actually post any customized questions.
Perfect, thanks, Wei. Brendan, this is probably another great question for you. What controls are in place to help administrators manage the Zoom app experience?
It's a great question, and really we've put a lot of focus on empowering administrators to be able to control Zoom apps to match their organizational needs. So first and foremost, Zoom apps are part of our marketplace where account administrators can actually choose to allow users of their account to be able to install any app or to have a list of pre-approved apps so that they have complete control of which apps are available to their users. Beyond that, we have an additional control that is available for account owners to actually decide if the Zoom apps icon is visible within the Zoom client, and they can configure that through our web portal, or for those groups that are doing mass deployments of clients across their organization, we also have it as an MSI or GPO setting for those IT administrators. So a lot of options to control visibility to the option, as well as being able to limit what apps individuals within the account can use and install if an account so chooses.
Thanks, Brendan. That was a very clear answer. We also had a question on when will registration open for Zoomtopia? This registration will open in early August, and my team is working on several great privacy and security sessions tailored to technical audiences, the general public, European audiences. So please stay tuned. We'll share product updates as well for privacy and security at Zoomtopia this year. And then a question for you, Robert, on the Active Apps Notifier report. Who can access and use this tool?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so the Active Apps Notifier report is something that can be accessed in the marketplace by only admins and account owners. Yeah.
Perfect. And then Brendan, here's a technical question that would probably be suited for you. My company needs to discuss sensitive data in our Zoom meetings. What can I do to ensure there is no recording or leaking of content?
So there are a number of features that you can use to help achieve those goals. So first off, recommend turning on authentication for the meeting or registration so that every single individual that is going to participate needs to be registered for the event or signed in to attend. At that point, you have the ability within the meeting to turn on our visual watermark and our audio watermark feature. And that adds an additional watermark through those different channels. So if someone does attempt to record it, there will be a reference so that you would know who records it. On top of that, Zoom's standard recording framework within a meeting using the built-in recording functionality only allows the host to record a session, and they would have to give permission to someone else to record. So it is already limiting it right out of the box for you.
Perfect. And we have one more question on Zoom apps. Can other users see which Zoom apps I've authorized and am using in a meeting?
I could take this one. Yeah, so if a Zoom app has access to meeting content during a meeting, others in the meeting will see the app list in the active apps notifier. Otherwise, other participants in the same meeting won't see which Zoom apps you're using. I think it's also important that account owners and admins of multi-user accounts will be able to see what Zoom apps you have installed. They may also set up approval policies for the accounts that they manage as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Robert. Now it looks like we have 2 privacy and security questions left. I think both are for you, Brendan, probably. How do I look for Zoom updates?
So for Zoom updates, there's a few things. First and foremost, if you're in the client, I always recommend periodically going up to that upper corner and doing a check for updates to make sure you've got the latest copy of the Zoom software with all the latest and greatest features. But beyond checking within the client itself, the number one thing that I recommend is visiting our status page, status.zoom.us. There you can subscribe and you can learn about every single time we are releasing new updates. That page will have a listing of maintenance that we're doing on the platform, as well as updates that we're releasing. You can sign up to get email alerts or text messages when those things are going on. And it will link you directly to our release notes, which are on support.zoom.us, that outline all the new features that come with each release. So between support.zoom.us for our release notes, status.zoom.us to see when those changes are happening and being able to get a subscription, as well as within client, just doing that check for updates, you've got a few ways to make sure that you're getting the latest and greatest from Zoom.
Perfect. Thanks, Brendan. And the last question for you, beyond the features you introduced for meeting disruptions, what else can users do to protect their meetings?
Oh, that is a wide question. There are a lot of great features within the Zoom platform. So naturally, the first ones that I think about are things like waiting room and passcodes, so that the folks that are joining your session are the folks that you've opened that up to. We talked a little bit earlier about meeting registration that allows you to actually have sort of a guest list or attendee list, and only those folks are allowed to join the meeting. Naturally, we have a whole other set of features within the meeting under the security shield, so that hosts of the meeting can control who can use certain features within the session, for example, who can screen share and the like. And then we've got a range of products from meetings for sessions where you want everyone to be speaking at once, to our webinar and Zoom event platform if you're doing more of a large event or broadcast session. So that just starts to scratch the surface. I don't know if the other panelists here have other features that are their favorite for meeting security and privacy.
If not, I can give a quick plug for one of my favorite resources for protecting Zoom meetings. We have a blog that we keep updating and keep it always current. It's called, I think, like Tips to Prevent Meeting Disruptions are our top tips. I think that's like a really great comprehensive resource if you're worried about keeping your meetings secure, and you can find it on the Zoom blog. And we actually had one more question, just like, what's the best place to find all the latest Zoom security information? We do regularly post on the Zoom blog, and you can search for tagged security or privacy content, as well as we have a trust center, which is a comprehensive one-stop shop for all our security and privacy information. So between the Zoom blog and our trust center, those are both great resources to read up on Zoom security and privacy. And with that, I think we're ready to conclude today's webinar. Any parting words from you, Eric, or any of the panelists?
Hillary, if I may address to one of the questions on the Zoom events availability countries.
Of course.
Yes, so audience Hasmuch, I hope that I pronounced your name right, has asked on Zoom is in beta and available in US. What about the Zoom events? So paid events are available in a few countries, US, Canada, UK, and a few others. Now, free events are available nearly globally. So back to you, Hillary.
Perfect. Any other final words from anyone?
I think for the audience, please take a look at our very exciting Zoom apps and Zoom events launch. And thank you for your time. I see you in October. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.